Damn. I was sitting here clicking live and it was sitting there stuck for like 30 seconds. I'm like, hello. Like y'all just gonna have me sitting here just waiting. What's up? Good morning, everybody. Shout out to everybody coming on in. It's the Sorry It's True podcast. It's your boy ARP, and we are back. Happy Memorial Day. It's a bright and early Monday. I hope everybody is got plans to stay safe today. I don't know if some of y'all working, some of y'all are on vacation, some of y'all are out and about. I remember there was a period in life, probably in like my early 20s, where if it was Memorial Day weekend, I was in Miami. I was in Miami. There was nowhere else I wanted to be. And this was really even before I started to like travel the world. There was nowhere else to go. I was just like, go somewhere else is a waste of time. Memorial Day weekend, man, the way we used to tear that shit up. Man, one time I went out there, my man Mech. I got pictures all on my Facebook from that, man. I gotta go through some old school shit with y'all. Y'all look at me from a whole different light. Like, yo, this guy was insane. I remember one time I went out there with Shotty and we went straight to soon as we landed, we went straight to the hotel, dropped our bags off. You know what I'm saying? Dropped the shirt. I dropped the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Threw the suntan lotion on. And what was it on Collins? We took a quick walk down Collins. It was Shotty's first time out there for Memorial Day weekend. It's probably like my fourth or fifth. I was like, you gotta come with me, trust me. we was there for like 10 minutes. So we walking down Collins, and there's this group of girls passing us, like 4 or 5 deep. And one of them was just like, yo, that's Adam. Like Shotty looked at me like, I was just like, yo, I told you need to be out here, B. And I don't even know who it was. And some of y'all gonna look at that and be like, yo, this nigga was a savage in Miami. I tore that shit up like 7 years in a row. I ain't gonna lie. Oh man. Memorial Day weekend. No, everybody be safe. Hope y'all have a good day set. My Memorial Day today, after I stream right here with y'all, I'm gonna hit the gym. After the gym, I don't have too much to do today. It's gonna be a lighter day for me. I'm stuck in the house for a little bit because my contractors are still working on that job that I spoke about when I left them in. What was it? When they started Saturday. Yeah. So when they was leaving Saturday, they didn't work yesterday, but when they was leaving Saturday, they asked me, they was like, yo, do you want us to start pick back up on Tuesday or Monday? And I was just like, yo, I could be here Monday if y'all because it's a holiday. So I wasn't gonna ask them to. But they proposed it, and I was just like, shit. I just want to get the work done. I want to get that area of my house back. I can't wait to see the finished product. And then I got like 7 other jobs lined up for them that I want them to go boom, boom, boom. I'm trying to get them to be finished with all these jobs that I got by the time I get to like mid-June. They work real fast. They're real good with their work. I've been dealing with them for years. So I sacrificed today, but I didn't have nothing planned anyway. As y'all see, I didn't have any plans to travel, nothing like that. So my Memorial Day is contractors will be here to get some housework done, and I'll be productive around the crib. You know, catch up on some stuff online, stuff like that. Catch up on some emails, catch up on some business calls, stuff like that. But I'll be home most of the day. I did go to the theater yesterday. I caught it. I saw Mission Impossible. Yes. Go see it. What are y'all waiting for anyway? There's when you got blockbuster movies that come out. I know there's some people that say I'm avoiding the rush. Like I ain't going week one. It's just too much. You end up like Batman theater movie shit. It's like people just do way, way, way too much. If y'all remember what I'm talking about, that nut job that went and shot up the theater, whatever. It's just you got these highly anticipated movies, and you're gonna be there maybe with a bunch of kids, and well, depending on the area. I got like 3 theaters that I go to that I revolve around, and none of them got that type of vibe energy where you get there like a Friday, it's a bunch of teenagers in the crowd. It's not that, you know what I'm saying? So I don't got to deal with that with the theaters that I've been using, but I wouldn't have avoided it anyway. I was trying to get there Friday, but it was sold out, like I said. But I got there yesterday. Felt like it was definitely 2.5 at least hours. People was talking like this is gonna be the last one. They ended it like they left it open as they should. Everybody's talking about Tom Cruise. He doesn't fucking age. He's still in great shape. I forget how old he is. Got to be at least in his 50s, right? He's in great shape. He's still doing all his own stunts on some Jackie Chan shit. He's incredible, man. He's an incredible actor, and he does a lot of the physical stuff as well. So who knows? You could easily grab him to do another blockbuster if you want to. The way that this movie ended, because I didn't catch any spoilers, I didn't catch any clips. I didn't know even if Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt was going to die. I didn't know. I didn't know. So all this first, it was a Dead Reckoning and then Final Reckoning, right? So I was just like, this is the first time they've done two movies to kind of complete a story. I don't know. Am I about to see the main character get off and this is the finale? It definitely felt like a finale, but it doesn't mean it didn't end like that's it. The series is done. So I don't know. I'd love to see another one, man. I would love to. It's one of the best. It's one of the most movie franchises in movie franchise history, right? You got your Fast and Furiouses, you got your Matrixes, you got your Mission Impossibles, huge franchise. You got your Avengers, Spider-Man. These are huge, huge, huge franchises. But I say all the time, there's only a couple where every single movie in the series is from great to classic. Okay. Underworld was one of my favorite ones because part one, raw, gritty. Part two, dope with the two brothers. Part three, Rise of the Lycans. Oh, crazy. After that, they did like two or three more after that. They were all trash. It feels like they went all too green screen, too graphic-y, too just capitalize on the name at that point. It's like y'all guys ruined it. With some other series that maintained all the way through. Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite series. Hobbit, one of my favorite series. Matrix, they fucked it up. The fourth one, it was trash. It was trash in comparison to what they had. Matrix is so special. So Mission Impossible, I'll take another one, man. You guys got the formula to creating a classic movie every time out, and this hit. One thing I love about Mission Impossible in general, but also this one that I just saw yesterday, the one that's in theaters, people. Oh, there you go, Kelson. Appreciate you. Shout out to the members in the building. It says John Wick, yes. And I will be catching the spinoff with the girl that's coming on the way too. Was it Ballerina, something like that? I can't wait to see that. But one thing about Mission Impossible that is so dope is it always feels like it's so largely scaled, right? It always feels global. One scene we're in Paris, the next scene we're in America, this other scene we're in Russia, this other scene we're in Antarctica, some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's so massively scaled. The scenes are huge, the explosions, the dilemmas, the problems. It's and one thing that Mission Impossible is the best at doing, and they did it in this one that's in theaters right now, is they're so good at showing you two, three, or four problems at the same time. And sometimes even in action sequences, right? So, like, you got over here in the computer room, they setting up, this person might be dying as these people over here trying to set up this last minute move on some computer shit. These guys over here are having a dogfight in the air in two airplanes. These ones over here is trying to disconnect the bomb. Over there, back in the United States, the president is ready to push the button that's going to potentially kill 10 million people. I just said, like, literally, I just said like 4 or 5, right? And they do it in a way where it's all happening at the same time. And the way that they sequence the scenes is so dope. It's just like, because it's all connected. So you're sitting there and you're on the edge of your seat. And if this scene don't got you on the edge of your seat, or that fight in the air don't got you on the edge of your seat, then this one does. Or if that one don't, then this one does. For me, all of them did. I was just like, oh shit. Yeah, man. Mission Impossible was dope. I'll watch it again before I go with the classic word. It's bare minimum a great movie, upholds the series. I loved it. I loved it every minute of it. I was sitting there through the end credits because I was just like, I can't miss shit. And I Googled, I was like, is there an end credit scene? It said, no, there's no end credit scene. I was like, get up out of here. All right. So that's my Memorial Day. And that's my update, as I promised y'all yesterday, for Mission Impossible. Y'all see the title, right? We got Kayshawn Speaks Out. I'm gonna bring that up. I wanna give you some reaction to that, give you some of my opinions on that. And then I might even get into some stuff I would love to see happen, even if it's on RBE. I'm retired from events, yes, but you guys know what's still I'm fit for, right? All right, we got 50 Cent in the title. Big lawsuit. But I didn't even hear rumblings behind the scenes of this lawsuit that 50 Cent is involved in. But okay, we'll get to that. Rodney Hinton Jr., I promise y'all we will stay up to date with that. There's an update, and he had a court appearance, I believe, right? But there's an update in his case. And Jonathan Robinson, we're going to take a look at that video, and we're going to give you my reaction to that situation. I'll save it. I'll save it. Let me not say anything more until we get there. All right, let's kick it off. Let's check out K-Shine. So everybody's been waiting to hear K-Shine speak out when he had his return battle announced, because everybody's, where's K-Shine? Where's K-Shine? One of the best to ever do it. One of the biggest battle rappers in the world. A legend. And when he was announced that he was coming back, it was big news, rightfully so. It was announced with Shotty Horroh. We started hearing about a different type of platform that it was going to be involved with. The date got pushed back a couple times. There wasn't too many updates that people were hearing. Bloggers, fans were getting frustrated. But it looks like, what's this one? Is this Hip Hop Is Real? Shout out to Hip Hop Is Real. I believe this is Hip Hop Is Real. Yeah, this is Hip Hop Is Real. Hip Hop Is Real caught up with K-Shine, asked him a couple questions. I'm going to skip when they asked him the URL question, because that one looked like the interviewer wasn't fully up. Either his tone was so perfectly placed, like, let me see if I could bait Shine into a controversial take, or he possibly just so out the loop, like, that's not a question for Shine. Like, is this happening on? No, like, but Shine handled it very well, very politically correct in his response. You know, didn't need to be all dramatic or ignite any that type of shit vibes. Keep it positive. So he handled the question very well. But let's focus in now on his return, the situation at hand, and then I'll tell you how I feel about things.
From the battle rap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were supposed to do something with Shotty. And that kind of folded up a little something.
Nah, it didn't fold up. It's still.
Sorry.
No worries. Nah, it didn't fold up. What happened was the people that we were gonna do the business with to actually do it just wasn't a good deal. The guy was not a. It wasn't a good deal for none of us, and I wasn't about to drag anybody into a situation that could potentially hurt niggas career wise or paper wise after just going through what I've been through. So I seen that shit in the long run. So I was just like, nah, even though I was thirsty to do the battle, but I wasn't that thirsty. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. So, but now we got shit right. You feel me? And now shit is active, and now shit busting. So y'all niggas stay tuned, man. That's it, man. That's all I want to say, because I want y'all to see the flight. I want y'all to see the rollout. You feel me? I know. Tired of hearing me saying shit. They already killing me about these in the comments. You said that, like, you feel me? So I'm really just trying to fall back till I can get the people what they want, man. And that's the save of this shit, man. That's a fact. Save this shit.
This is somebody you want, like somebody you excited for? Because I see, you know what I mean?
I'm excited to battle, period, man. It could be anybody, you know what I mean? I'm excited to show what the game's been missing. So it's really not about an opponent for me right now.
What'd he say?
You know what I mean? It's really
What'd he say? Okay.
What the game need right now.
Nah, when you put on in that cipher, we already know you itching.
That's light.
That's stupid.
That's like I ain't even emptied it. You feel me? I seen it down. I said I walk off.
I walked up on it.
Feel me? Nah, that's like I don't really want to. I wanted to not give sincere, a poor performance, because I didn't want to overperform to spoil you the surprise. You feel me? I don't want them to see the energy that's about to come, bro.
I got a couple things to touch on. I'm gonna go to. All right, let me do it. Let me do it in order from what he was saying. The first one of the business in the long run wasn't situated correctly, and he didn't want to screw that up. So shout out to Shine for giving us, me included, everybody, an update on what you got going on. The reason why you're getting your ass kicked in these comments and the bloggers is on your heels and people's trying to drag Shine in certain respects is because his return is a big deal. That's the other side. That's the silver lining, okay? ARP, are you about to just go ahead and stick up for Shine and do all this, blah, 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 blah? No. I know all the negative side of what the whole battle rap culture has been on K-Shine's heels about, right? But I'm also go into the silver lining because I got a theme that I want to build up in this topic. The silver lining is people give a shit, Sean. Okay. So now if I could say that and be 1,000 with Sean like I always am with everybody, you can't, well, yeah, you can. You shouldn't. You shouldn't even get to an announcement until business is right. Especially what you say that from your own admission, what you just went through, right? So if you went through something that you felt from your perspective was fucked up or foul or wrong, then you should be the first person crossing your T's and dotting your I's for the next situation because you would have learned. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect for the Locks to ever end up in a record deal that they had like when they was doing the Locks from Bad Boy campaign, right? Because you've been through something. So now that heightens you, that changes you, that teaches you. Like, all right, like I got to move a way that works for me. I got to have certain things in my contract that work for me. I got to have certain understandings and business agreements that work for me. Okay, Sean? So I want Sean to continue to up his league owner business side. Even legal wise. Like Sean is somebody that has expressed when he was doing his lives, when he was on MEO, he did several platforms. He's somebody that I always felt, I don't know if he did or not, but should have been consulting with a lawyer. Now I know Sean a street nigga. Sean the type of nigga that feel like, you know, if I ask a lawyer about my contract, that might be snitching. Like, it's not Sean. And shout out to Sean. Like Sean street nigga. So maybe that's how he feel. I don't know. But I think the Seans of the world, when they feel like they in certain situations that they need to figure out, you know, what's my options or my best paths. Sometimes you just need to speak with a lawyer. I always give respect and credit to Easy the Block Captain for doing that. Whether he was right, wrong, in the middle, both, all of the above, he called himself a lawyer and sought some legal counsel. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with doing that, seeking legal counsel, because we all call the shit business. So I want Sean to really, really continue to grow in that lane because he's so important to battle rap. You know? So don't involve yourself in any announcements. Don't engage the public. Don't tell the public something's going down. Don't promote something. Don't sell something until it's what it needs to be. You know, I would never, I used to never put out a flyer, put out a sale, announce a card until I had 3 things lined up, right? The first 3 things that I've always lined up before I did any public moves was my pay-per-view, which is also tied to the date of the event, right? If I got on the phone with Rap Grid and I said, yo, I want to do June 20th, right? And they don't have 3 or 4 people staffed to work my event. I got to go back and forth with them to figure out what dates is going to work for both of us, okay? The second thing, along my pay-per-view being set up and dated and established and locked in and signed and sealed, is the location, my venue. I've been there before. Shout out to Ant too, from the RBE side. That's one. Ant is the one that landed Believe Music Hall. He was foot to pavement and he was running around the city. And sometimes I was meeting him up. We was on a road at night. He was, yo, meet me at this address. Let's check this spot out. Yo, meet me at this address. Let's check this venue out. And he landed Believe Music Hall. And when I got there and I saw it for the first time, I said, nigga, you's a genius. You know what I'm saying? The venue, where we're going to be. Because there might be 1,000 battle rappers to create this card with. But I need my location and I need the date locked in. And that needs to be the same date as my pay-per-view. Right? So I got my pay-per-view and I got my location, my venue locked in. The third thing before I did anything public, flyer, promotion, sales, anything, was my main event. Those 3 things. When I had those 3 things done, I would come outside. Sometimes I would have the whole card done before I came outside. Sometimes I would have only 2 or 3 battles booked before I came outside. Hitman and Ill Will was announced before Calico and Goods was locked in. I was still negotiating with both of those guys as we were already starting to promote Max Out 3. You know what I'm saying? When I did an epic example for me is when I did the Rare Breeds card in 2018, the return of Mook taking on Averb. There were so many battlers that wanted to be a part of Murder Mook's return. So many discounts that I caught. Some of the biggest battlers ever were hitting me up saying, yo, just give me 1,000, give me $2,000. I want to be on it. Remember me and Mav got into it behind him trashing King Los. King Lo shouldn't be there. This should be the Murder Mook's return. This should be the family affair right now. Why is King Los there? He don't belong there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be on that card. You know, so I had my venue, my date, my pay-per-view, and my main event locked in. And then even the attraction from other battlers begins. You know what I'm saying? So there's ways to go about it, but there's a core pieces that must, and that's all tied to your business as well, right? That need to be situated before you get in front of these fans. So you've been through it. That's a mistake that you should never make again, Sean. Never, ever, 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 ever. Okay. What was another big takeaway that he mentioned? He didn't mention Shotty. I caught that just now. They was asking him like, who? What opponent? And I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm a huge fan of Shotty Horroh. I want to see Shotty Horroh in a full circle. When I heard the Sean and Shotty Horroh announcement, I think I was one of few people that was hype. A lot of people like wasn't really with that announcement. Me, I was with it. Go watch the Social Distance with Shotty Horroh and go watch Shotty Horroh versus Daylight, or go watch Shotty Horroh versus Charlie Clips, or go watch Shotty Horroh versus Austin, one of the biggest battles in battle rap history. Like Shotty Horroh is one of them niggas. Like, like maybe because he's not over here in the States, you know, but I was cool with that return battle for Sean. I looked at a return for Shotty as well. I was totally cool with it. But Sean had the opportunity to see the response here in the States, which is where the battle looks like it's going to take place, right? So now that he has the opportunity to see the response, why make that mistake again? The fans probably just want to see Shotty Horroh versus somebody else and K-Sean versus somebody else, right? So don't do it again, right? You saw it. Like, it's the max money for that matchup. The anticipation isn't there, right? And then on top of that, with the time has passed, the battle has come down, even for the people that had peak interest at the time. So that would be smart. His answer there was clearly, I mean, I'm down for it. You know, we'll see. He didn't say Shotty, almost as if it was open. And then you heard when I said, okay, that was a bar. I said, I threw K in there. Okay. I'll get to that in a second. So I think that's smart. Now, let me go back and before I get into okay, Big K and K-Sean, before I go there, let me tell you about, you know, a small story. The last time I was trying to get K-Sean, well, 2 times back. The last 2 times back when I discussed a possible matchup with K-Sean. Now, mind you, the work that me and K-Sean did, business-wise, everything was on the up and up. He promoted very well. He showed up. He did a great face-off with Jay Mills. He did a trailer that was crazy. Go look at that shit on the channel. Like, shout out to he's walking around the hood, popped out and did some like cinematic movie type of shit for us. And the communication, the press conference, he popped out at the press conference. Me and him argued at the press conference off camera about some other shit. I think something that we dropped I think I dropped a clip of something when Jay Mills was like, he said something disrespectful to Sean, right? And we promoted on it. And Sean, I think he was just like, yo, I got people calling me like, yo, you let that nigga talk to you like that? And he was mad at me for that. I was just like, it's battle rap, and that's the promotional piece, Sean. And we had to step to the side and talk about that. I was like, yo, nigga, calm the fuck down. It's promotion. Like, well, you know, Shot. You know, say so. Shout out to Shot. But everything that we've always done business-wise has been on the up and up. He's always handled himself great. You know what I mean? And I always respected that about him. But there was one time we was on the phone, and the daylight conversation did come up, right? And I was asking him what was going on with him. And he told me all his updates. This is way before any of the drama. It is way before it. way before it. And I was just like, this is because Daylight was trolling Sean so much online, you know. And me from the outside looking in, I was like, yo, what's up? What's going on with all that? Like, and the stuff that he told me was just like, I don't know what's going on. Is this going on and that and this redirection and that's pivoting and that's. We had a good conversation, man. And I was like, man, if you got all this, you don't know what's up and you're not working right now, whatever, you don't got nothing going on, you know, I'd like to do you and Big K, right? And it became a good conversation, and he was interested to a degree during that time. This was a while ago, and I know later on, you know, him and Hollow happened, and that started from my conversation with him. because my conversation turned into other conversations outside of me, and other people came to the table, you know, pretty much motivated from the conversation that was brought to them that I started. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if I don't got it under contract, I ain't paid for it. It ain't mine. It is what it is. Y'all ended up getting hollow and shine, you know? And we haven't had too much business conversation since those things, me and Sean. Not too much. We did have was it a full circle conversation? We did have a conversation like within like the last 2 years, but it didn't really get too far. But we stayed tapped in. Anytime me and Sean get on the phone, we talk about a bunch of other shit too. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Sean. I say all that to say, I would love to be able to work with Sean again. I think it would be dope. I'm not trying to fuck up your return, Sean. And I'm not trying to capitalize on all the ups and downs that you've been having with this Shotty Horroh battle and that network that you was gonna rock with for a second. I'm not here to capitalize on none of that. If you and I never work again, I'll still treat you the same. I'll still treat you with the utmost respect from everything that we've already done together. And we broke bread, and we've always been, what I'm saying, stand up to each other. So I'm not here to capitalize on it. I just see like, yo, if I could be involved in something that would be dope for you, dope for me, and dope for the fans, why not? Okay. The thing about K-Shine's return, it almost feels like if it's too focused on at this point with everything that's happened over like the last year and a half, like Sean could even be hurt for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the return to like, let's say a stage or a big event or a crowd, why can't that just be the return? Now, this is just my idea. I could be wrong. I could be, Sean could be like, fuck out of here. And fans could be like, I don't fuck with that neither. Right? Why can't that be the return? The next time we see you in front of a crowd, small room, big stage, whatever, and in that type of typical arena of seeing K-Shine. But even if it happens before that, how about a full circle? I would open up the circle for K-Shine right now. Right now. There's some battles right now. If they called me or if they text me and said, yo, I feel like doing this full circle, I ain't even on shit right now. I swear to God, I'm podcasting. I ain't on shit. One of my favorite battle rappers of all time texted me 2 days ago. Red. 2-3 days ago. Red. And he's like, what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo, I need you whenever that time comes. You know what I'm saying? And things like that motivate me. People like Red motivate me. I was like, oh, Red just, he said that he want to give me a classic. Damn, that's one of my favorite battle rappers. Fuck. Should I open a circle up? You know what I'm saying? For a Geechee debut, for a Daylight return, for a Jazz debut, for a K-Shine return, for an Easy return, I'm definitely gonna switch my energy. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing right here for a quick second, and I'm like, all right, yo, Avo, it's time to put the circle together. So I know that people would look at this like that's still a return battle. It's still the first time we've seen Sean in years battle rap. I just want to present an option for the man. That's all I want to do. He doesn't have to. It doesn't have to happen. He's gonna be good, and everybody be good. And like I said, I'll still treat him the same. Like, all right, Sean. Like when things don't work, it's cool. We accept yeses, we accept nos, like men. But a little 2-minute per round exhibition between K-Shine versus Big K in a full circle don't sound too bad. All we got to do is negotiate full circle type of numbers. We could do it today. Agree on the numbers. I'll send you the contract. You know I'm easy to work with. I'll send you the contract. I'll hit Avocado up. And then it's time to put the circle together and we could shoot it and we could release it here on the channel. I really like it to be that simple. I'm just saying. We get a little bag together real quick. We could do something for the fans real quick. And it's a dope matchup that you and I discussed like 7, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Or we've been discussing it already. And you want to know what, Sean? I'm so real about my motivations behind it, right? That it doesn't even have to be now. I'll do it now. Look, call my bluff. Call my bluff, nigga. You know I'm one of the realists in this shit. Call my bluff. I'll do it now, but I don't have to. So even if Sean has a plan that none of us know about, like, nah, I want my first time back in front of fans to be this, cool. Hit me up after that. It's all good. Let's do it after that. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all want to see Sean back on the RBE channel? I do. I wouldn't mind that at all. And the first call that I would make to negotiate a K-Shine back on RBE matchup would be Big K. That's the first person I'll call. And if for whatever reason it didn't work out, Sean didn't want to do it, Big K didn't want to do it, numbers wasn't lining up on both sides, I would be down to do it. Figure out a different matchup. You know, I'm just down to get K-Shine back on RBE. I'll open up the full circle for that. Absolutely. Even shout out to Easy. Me and Easy had a very productive phone call. We were negotiating and everything. This is right before the Swamp and Easy battle was announced, you know, and then the conversation just went flat. But we were talking about a full circle. You know, y'all want to see Easy in a full circle? No, I don't know. I was just on the phone with Geechee a couple weeks ago. We're talking about full circle. Me and Geechee kind of owe each other his debut. I'm gonna lead to Geechee in math, half of history alone. Shout out to my nigga Geechee, man. Y'all could all call my bluff on these conversations, be like, y'all know me by now. Like, I'm not the fraud in league owner. It's too easy to do full circles. That's one thing I love about full circle. I'm good on the events. I'm retired. I'm out of the way. Any leagues that's worried about little ARP, I'm out the way. I'm cool. I love the way my retirement hit 10-year anniversary, max out 3. I'm leaving it alone, right? But full circles is something that I can continue to do and continue to fulfill, not just our fan bases and my fan base, or continue to add on to the RBE legacy, but me just as a hip hop fan. Like I said, when I get a text message from one of my favorite battle rappers, Old Red, say, yo, what you got going on? That makes me say, oh shit. I get to hear possibly 3 new RBE motivated Old Red rounds. I'm here for that. You know what I'm saying? So the full circle, you know, it's that thing, or even the what nows, right? Even those as well. The battles that are focused on location and look. You know, I want to continue to work with Avocado over the next however many years and allow that man to be unleashed where the restrictions that we had in events and these venues, I now get to say, unleash your creative side, ruin your day. Everybody has their jobs in their lanes. And from a production and direction standpoint, I want to get out of Ruin Your Day's way and say, I'm not making this shit up. You want to do some shit in the snow. You want to do some shit with fire barrel pits behind you and all that. Here you go. Cause I don't have to worry about how do we do this in a venue? How do we set this up? How do I sell tickets to this? It's on a street corner. Now that I don't got to deal with none of that no more, and I just need to set up a private location, a private date, and have the battlers show up, invite a couple fans there for free, let the members come for free like I've been doing with Full Circle. It's easy. Y'all want to hear the truth? I haven't attended a single Full Circle. I've never seen a Full Circle in front of me. And it's my shit. I've never been to one. Charlie Clips and QB, Jag and Arsenal on the roof. Who else? Shit. The Return of Active and what other Full Circles did we do that was crazy? Averb and Mickey Fax, Averb and Ill Will, Arsenal versus Rosenberg Raw. I haven't been to any Big K in a Full Circle versus Coach Corleone. I haven't been to a Full Circle yet. You know what I saw? When I got shipped my footage. The fans that I invited to the Full Circles for free and said, y'all, I just want to give y'all some free tickets. Y'all saw the battles before the motherfucker that paid for it. It's real shit. So y'all know I ain't on nothing. Like, this guy is very, very true to his word. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gets to have some fun, make some money, make some content. You know, what else are we here for? All right, shout out to Shine. Was that a cool battle rap topic for y'all? Do O-Red got his voice in order? Absolutely. O-Red had some voice impact on RBE, I think, once. He has his routine now, his tea and his he got no business screaming at a face off the night before his battle with people like Jag. You know what I'm saying? But they triggered each other. So O-Red is one of the best writers, period. Like, I argue, if you make a writer's Mount Rushmore in battle rap, that's one person I'm guaranteeing you I'm putting up there. Y'all might think I'm crazy. Y'all shouldn't. But I would argue O-Red's pen next to the people that y'all focus on their pen reputations. When I say pen, people's minds go to people like Loaded Lux, deservingly so. I promise you. I would argue Loaded Lux's pen with O-Red's pen. Maybe it's just me. And it's fine if it's just me. And so, O-Red, yeah, we gotta talk about that when the next full circle starts to formulate. I don't have an opponent in mind for you. We did so much work, but we'll figure it out. I also want to see Calico versus Show Off. Show Off said he's ready to return. It's a battle rap. It's one of my favorite battle rappers as well. I want to see Calico versus Show Off. Why not? All right, let's move along. Let me get off battle rap now. Let's move into the rest of the entertainment side of the house, people. Like I promised y'all, owe y'all more battle rap in these podcasts, and I will continue to deliver. Okay. 50 Cent. What is 50 Cent in headlines for? I saw this morning. I was like, sheesh. All right, check this out, y'all.
For 50 Cent speaking to Fox 5 about the multi-million-dollar lawsuit his liquor company has filed against its alcohol supplier.
Fox 5's Lisa Evers joins us now in studio with these exclusive new details. And Lisa, what is 50 Cent talking about?
Well, a lot, Stephen Natasha. Media mogul, rapper, and Sire Spirits owner 50 Cent is no longer keeping quiet about his lawsuit against liquor giant Beam Suntory. He's speaking out in our exclusive interview for the first time about the alleged embezzlement scheme that he says cost him millions of dollars and nearly robbed him of his dream of owning his own liquor company.
Now we're at a point where they will see, everybody gonna see it. When this noise affects them, they get really uncomfortable.
50 Cent is talking about Beam Suntory after a report aired last week and went viral across dozens of news outlets. It's more than posturing. Depositions are underway in the New York State Supreme Court lawsuit of 50 Cent's Sire Spirits versus Beam Suntory, Michael Caruso, Julius Grant, and others.
People will start to look at it, and then there's just gonna be a mess for them.
Former Club King Lord Michael Caruso, is the first to be deposed in the case. Sire Spirits attorney Craig Weiner says he was paid $500,000 a year by Beam Suntory and was a key part of a multi-million-dollar kickback scheme. Beam's former chief commercial officer, Julius Grant, is also scheduled to be deposed.
You have the two of them working together and conspiring in order to get Sire Spirits to buy its champagne and its cognac from parties that were giving illicit and hidden commissions.
Beam Suntory once again declined an interview, but sent us this statement. The claims brought by Mr. Jackson and Sire Spirits against Beam Suntory are false and baseless. They are completely lacking in merit, and even more importantly, in evidence. Most of the allegations have already been dismissed. We will continue to vigorously defend ourselves and expect to prevail. Actually, in a separate but related case, Mitchell Green pleaded guilty to a federal charge of wire fraud and was ordered to pay more than $7 million to Sire Spirits.
This is the type of stuff that happens. How they slow down smaller companies or new companies when they're coming in, because I guess it prevents them from growing fast enough.
Attorney Craig Weiner says they have all the facts they need to prove their claims.
It's all going to get worse than it is now when people start paying attention to it. I'm going to end up making a whole TV show based on it.
Now, we reached out to the attorneys for Michael Caruso and Julius Grant, two of the defendants in the case, but did not get a reply.
50 Cent, man, this guy, he just catches all these victories during the course of his whole career right in front of our eyes, right? And sometimes 50 Cent can be petty. Exclusive. 50 Cent authorized to seize former employee's house. Now, see that title there? Let me put it back on the big screen. You see that? People think 50 Cent is petty all the time in his legal disputes. And I think he can be. When we saw that shit with the jeweler, like there was a jeweler that made or possessed or whatever, like a cross medallion. And if I remember correctly, I'll say allegedly for everybody. He promoted the medallion in a way where he was saying, yeah, this is the same joint that 50 Cent got. And 50 Cent was like, yo, I'm sending my lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is using me to promote or something. And the jeweler, you know, he got shaken up. I don't know if 50 Cent actually filed a lawsuit or not. I don't know. But the jeweler was shaken up by it. He went to 50's hood, started giving out, you know, jewelry or bars of like silver. And it's like, yo, I'm giving back in your hood. 50, like, come on, let's be friends. Like, drop this. We don't need to do this. You know, I looked at that one and I get it. Like, you don't want to use 50 Cent is such a big brand. You don't want your brand to be used outside of you without approval. It just didn't seem like something that 50 Cent needed to send the lawyers about. It just didn't. Unless there's more to it that I don't know. But you got cases like this. You see what 50 Cent says, this is what some of these bigger companies do to these smaller companies to slow their success or their ascension. You know, I definitely understand that. But if you wanted me to just summarize what the report says from the news there, niggas allegedly was side hustling. They had their side shit, right? So I got access to all this and I'm cutting these little, it's G money. You've been making money outside of the family? I just been doing a little experimentation type of thing. You making money outside of the family. But that type of money and these side deals and giving side commissions, and these are people that allegedly, we could have directly tied into the big scope of what is helping or impacting everybody in some type of contract. But you taking this and chipping off and possibly moving a piece of it over here to this little club or this little business or this little sponsor, and you cutting me out of it. You skimming, you know, allegedly. So if you got any business ties with this type of stuff and you find out, that's one of those, hey, it's a form of stealing, allegedly. It's a form of theft. You're fucking robbing me, and I caught you. And look at this too. When you see 50 Cent being authorized to seize dude's home, 50 Cent won a court approval to seize Connecticut home after a man defrauded the rap star's liquor company. 50 Cent has been granted court approval to seize Connecticut property owned by former Size Spirits executive Mitchell Green, who owes the hip-hop mogul's liquor brand more than $7 million after a fraud conviction. $7 million, nothing to sneeze at. Everybody wants their $7 million. Everybody. A federal bankruptcy judge, let me leave this highlighted. We're going to come back to this. A federal bankruptcy judge lifted the automatic stay on Green's Chapter 7 case, allowing Size Spirits to enforce a lien on the Westport home. A decision clears the way for foreclosure proceedings under state law. You see, I highlighted, I said I want to come back to this. Federal bankruptcy judge. So we hear that a lot. We hear people file bankruptcy sometimes to protect their assets, right? I believe Donald Trump at one point in his life may have filed bankruptcy. We heard about 50 Cent doing it when he got sued by Rick Ross's baby mother, right? Sometimes it's a chess move. Sometimes it's really because you're in a bad spot. But let me just pull up real quick. What are the terms of Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Let me just see if I could see the terms real quick. All right, key terms of Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Debt discharge. Chapter 7 allows debtors to discharge, forgive many types of unsecured debts like credit card balances, medical bills, or personal loans. Okay, not mortgages. That's not in that description. Assets. Okay, a home could be an asset, of course. A debitor or a debtor, whatever, must list all assets, including property, income, and expenses. Trustee. A trustee is appointed to oversee the case. Non-exempt assets. That's what I want to see. These are assets that can be liquidated to pay creditors. Examples include vehicles, homes, and bank accounts. Non-exempt, that was classified as. When you go to exempt property, debitors or debtors, whatever, can retain certain assets. The specific exemptions vary by state. So that's something that we're seeing here in this situation. That Chapter 7 could have, in some cases, protected this man's home, right? But in this given scenario, based on the situation at hand and as well as the state that it's in, a federal bankruptcy judge lifted the automatic stay on Green's Chapter 7 case, allowing Sire Spirits to enforce a lien on the Westport home. So that Chapter 7 at one point protected his asset and his home, and then a judge came along during this scenario and lifted it and said, fair game now. I don't know how long some of that type of stuff could take. Could be years in the making, but this is why I said that headline of 50 Cent authorized to seize former employee's house. According to court documents, he pocketed roughly $2.2 million in illegal payments between 2018 and 2020. Don't side hustle no $2.2 million on the side in fraud or side deals allegedly on me, and we're in business together. I don't take no issue in this, and this is what people respect about the Sorry Shoe podcast. Just like the lawsuit that we were filed within, you know, saying they used this as an example the other day. That's why people respect the way we carry it over here, people, is because I'll start out by saying I don't agree with some of the stuff 50 Cent has done. I don't, unless he comes with that Tammy documentary. I kind of disagree with what he did to Big Meech based on the full paperwork read that we did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it's supposed to be when you call somebody a rat or a snitch, okay? Or I don't know if it looks petty, you know, with that thing with the jeweler. But in this case right here, 50 Cent might have been getting robbed. So pay the man. We always gonna call it fair. Pay the man. This ain't no petty situation. And dude allegedly, or I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want to act like I got every detail here in front of y'all. But they say he already was convicted of some other shit, this guy, on some fraud or scamming shit, right? 2.2 behind this little G Money shit on the side. All right. See what happened to G Money, right? All right. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, let's keep moving now. Rodney Hinton Jr., as promised, keep the updates coming. Stay on top of this case. Very, very big situation. And I want us to keep track of it. So let's see one of the most current updates.
A trial date is now set for Rodney Hinton Jr. That's the man charged with intentionally hitting and killing Hamilton County Deputy Larry Henderson near UC on May 2nd.
Well, now he is set to stand trial January 12th. WCPO 9 News reporter Jay Shakur was inside the courtroom and walks us through what happened.
That's right, that mid-January date, and a long list of other dates were set this morning between the prosecution and Rodney Hinton Jr.'s attorney, Clyde Bennett. And experts say it can be tedious preparing for a capital murder trial. And we learned today in court 300 pieces of evidence have been logged by the prosecution alone, and much more is expected. The prosecution says that's because of the sheer number of police officers that responded to the scene on May 2nd. Footage from each one of their body cameras has to be logged as evidence. Cincinnati Attorney Joshua Evans, who isn't on this case, shared with me what this amount of evidence shows us.
In general, murder cases have a ton of evidence. So this is not anything that's irregular. But there is a plea for not guilty by reason of insanity. So they got to find an unbiased doctor that's going to be able to see that guy, see Mr. Hinton, which is going to be difficult in the Cincinnati area. So I've heard rumblings that they might have to come up out of the Cincinnati area, the greater Cincinnati area, to find a doctor that can do the competency hearing.
Now, the lawyer for Rodney Hinton Jr. has suggested that his mental competency will be a major subject of his upcoming trial. Today, we didn't get any update on that claim. Several other dates, including jury screening, were discussed and set today. The judge says she wants a speedy but fair and efficient trial. In Cincinnati, Jay Shakur, WCPO 9 News.
Okay, definitely some interesting stuff there. Absolutely some interesting stuff there.
Prosecution says.
All right, so let's go. Let's go here first. The 300 pieces of evidence. Remember in the movie Bad Boy? Was it Bad Boys 1? Where they staged the shooting of a police officer because it was a tactic so that while they were over there in this police station pulling off all them keys of coke, they emptied the police departments to go over here to respond for a police shooting, right? Very, very smart. Smart move in the movie, okay? we don't encourage none of this type of shit in real life, yeah. But very, very smart move movie-wise. And that's why they got to 300. If this was, a civilian, let's say 5, 10, maybe 15 police officers show up. I don't know. I don't know. But he said every piece of body camera footage needs to be submitted as evidence. So because this was a police officer that just got hit and killed, right? The whole force shows up. 300 people show up, right? And all of their cams submitted from. So going through 300 cameras, all these different angles, but it's after the fact. So I guess you're only seeing the wreckage of it. And I don't know, do you have any footage or angles of Rodney Hinton Jr.? Did he say anything out there that somebody's police cam of that 300 picked up? And let me now move towards this. Even that I could see playing within a factor of the direction that is possibly happening here. His mental state, temporary insanity. You guys see how I use movies as references all the time, right? Now let's go from Bad Boys. Let's go to Training Day. All right. You're sitting amongst the wise men, and he breaks down the scenario where, like, yo, I've been tracking this guy forever. He really is a piece of shit person. He gets up there, he pulls out the peanut butter. I don't need to get too graphic, licks his fingers clean, and they put him in a mental home instead of a fucking lockup. And he's gonna walk free after just doing some time in like a psychiatric ward or something like that. You want one more before we get back to Rodney Hinton Jr.? I'll go another classic for you. Was it Primal Fear? Right? Like we can go with that one. And that sometimes is a play, that sometimes is real. Let's decipher that as we get our hands on evidence, as we see footage, as we hear more development from this case. If I wanted to, from right now, based on what we have, go in the angle of temporary insanity or he's not the most mentally stable person, I could say temporary insanity is going to come from you just lost your son, right? I think we could all justify that. Temporary insanity. I've had those discussions with y'all already. Red tunnel, eyes bleeding. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I just lost my child. Temporary insanity, okay? But his overall mental capacity or stability, let's say prior to the loss of his son, we don't know that yet. We don't know what type of man this was prior, right? We see how he's moving in jail now. As easy as I could say, when he's sticking his head up and saying gone forever, and we see him make certain little faces or whatnot, I could say, oh, does he have all of his marbles, or is that related to what he's going through with his son? Who knows? Let that be somebody that does a real good or true evaluation of him give input to, because I'm not going to say only he knows, but even these evaluations, I don't think that you could always trust them 100%. Somebody come in there and say, oh, he doesn't have all his marbles, or like, no, he was completely sane when he hit that police officer. And I got to take either side with a grain of salt, but is it a play? The mental thing, as far as him trying to either get off death row and not face the death penalty, beat the charges, period, which I see very, very unlikely with the loss of a life for a police officer. I just don't see that happening. Like he could have, a lot of people could feel sympathetic to the situation on his side. I just honestly do not see the legal system letting him off. He may not get the death penalty, or let's say hypothetically he doesn't get life. He does maybe get the possibility for parole after 20 or something, but I just don't see him getting to the end of this trial and them saying not guilty. This is not a time to kill Samuel L. Jackson. This is not that. They're not going to treat it as such. Sam killed 2 racist civilians that deserved it. Yeah, I said it. They're going to say this man took an innocent police or a deputy's life that wasn't even involved in the situation with his son. And we still want more and more clarity on that too, that shooting. I don't think they're going to let him off. But I do want to see how he's treated, how they build the legal, case against him, the developments of, are we going into this mental instability thing? Like, I want to stay on top of those type of details. Checks and balances continue to help me with updates as they roll out for Rodney Hinton Jr. I want to stay on top of this one, man. This is a very interesting situation to me. And I do want to treat it with sensitivity and respect for both lives that were lost, and as well as all lives impacted. I want to be respectful. But yeah, we're going to keep following this. Let me know y'all thoughts on this new angle that's coming out of his mental stability before his son as well as after. Let me know y'all thoughts. All right. This one is so easy for me. Now I know that we do a lot of the hip hop world, the entertainment world. But one thing that we do as well, a lot on this channel. I seen a comment, I think, in yesterday's stream or one of the videos that hit the channel yesterday. Somebody put a comment, ARP out here as a whole up and coming paralegal. I will never claim to be. I speak with lawyers, you know, whether I'm in the midst of something, whether I'm speaking with lawyers, even outside of my own legal shit that I deal with or dealt with, right? Like shout out to my man Creech, Norbs' lawyer, right? You know, we've done little small things together, you know, at a legal level, but for the most part, when I talk to Creech, we just be building as homies. You know, that's like really a homie of mine that I could call, ask for legal advice and all that type of stuff. And I would never disrespect what it takes to be a lawyer and the type of knowledge that those people have, and seeing real lawyers in action. I would never disrespect them to act like I'm out here being a nah. I just speak from places of logic, experience, rationale, and using my eyes and ears. I will never act like I'm some paralegal or nothing like that. But we do a lot of legal based stuff. And this one, I don't give a fuck what ends up in the transcripts or on the docket. Throw away the key. Now, let's bring it back. Did y'all set this? Let me set the stage. Did y'all hear this case or see this online yet? This Jonathan Robinson guy? So let me bring the footage back. What I see right here is a woman. This might be an ATM or something, or it's either ATM or maybe a store window. Because you know how some stores, you get to a certain time at night, the doors is locked, but they still do transactions, like through like the little revolving door or whatever, especially in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's either a store or ATM that they're at. And it looks like he's second. You know, she's up right now doing her business, handling her business, and he's after. You could see his eyes go, his head go down as if he might be checking her out. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's scheming, which is within a man's right. Look at a woman, God forbid. I don't know if there's words said. I possibly see mouth movement, but I don't know if there's words said. It doesn't look aggressive in any means. It doesn't even look disrespectful. If he shot his shot, maybe. You know, if he happened to say something to Shorty, maybe. But I don't have that audio, so I'm not going to over speculate. But based on what we see here, two people online handling transactions. Yeah, has money in his hand, right? So it probably isn't an ATM. It probably is one of the stores that got the little window that they're doing transactions through.
Can I get a pack of Capri Ones when you make that long?
Is that her audio or is that from inside? Yeah, it's definitely a store. She asked for something. She asked for order. Can I get a pack or whatever? She walks back to the driver's seat and the passenger door opens up. Now, from what I see in the side too, the window was up the whole time. So I don't know. How could you even assume that this man knew that somebody else was in the car? Does he have to know? Being aware of your surroundings is one thing, especially if you're hollering out a shorty. Is she here with somebody? I get it. But that's as far as confrontation or just making sure a woman is available. Not based on this motherfucker getting out the car with a gun in his hand.
19.
Now, right there is where dude first aims the gun at dude. That's assault. You know, just aiming or brandishing a gun is assault, right? He could catch charges just for that. And he kind of like lunges a little bit, like, oh, like try to block it for a second. And he's now they're speaking back and forth. Now it's an all-out confrontation, and you threatening my life. You got a gun that you already pointed at me. See, he pushes it away for a second. He gets closer for a second, then they go back to talking. Oh, pause. I didn't want to go that far. Pause. Yeah, I definitely didn't. I don't want to see any shots on my footage. This is so sad. It's so disgusting. You don't even have to have the audio. You don't even have to know the words that was said to fully determine, like, this man did not need to lose his life this night over the woman, over him checking her out. Did he say something to the girl? We can't do the whole, like, oh, maybe it was his op. If that's the case, you would have got out a long time ago. No, and it definitely would have been a conversation if y'all were already enemy. Like, I don't see that. Like, the way that the man in the red was, his hands was gesturing and everything, it looked like he was pleading and explaining. These guys ain't enemies. Nah. And if they was enemies, you don't let your girl get out and go to the store in front of your enemy. If you was a man, you get out and you handle your business, or you go to the store, right? So to even let it, like, no, this is random. This is random. Throw away the key, man. Throw away the key. They say this. What is this guy's name again? Yeah. Just like that, a 41-year-old Chicago man, Jonathan Robinson, aka Big Jono, shot and killed the man for talking to his girlfriend at a gas station. Throw away the key on this guy. See, the thing is, people, I ain't no gangster. I ain't no street nigga. I could take this stand and I stand on it 100%. I don't do, oh, you don't wish jail on people. 9 times out of 10, y'all see me on this channel. I don't be wishing jail on people. That ain't street code for me. That ain't gangster code for me. That's just, moral and character based, and trying to do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. I don't be getting on these cameras and say, oh, he punched him in the face. Fucking put him in jail. Because if I punch somebody in the face, I don't want to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? It's a do unto other type of character thing for me. It ain't no fucking street code. So I don't wish jail frivolously like that. I don't. I am a human, though. I'm a civilian, yes, but I'm a human before all of that shit. I'm a man. I'm a human. And you see how many times people, I try to put myself in those shoes, and I'd be like, damn, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I wouldn't want that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want that for any of my people. I wouldn't want that for strangers that I got to watch on a video. I wouldn't want that. So throw away the key on this nigga. Lock this guy up and throw away the key. I'm sorry to anybody in his family that might be impacted behind this man going to jail. But chat, that could be your brother, your father, your son in that red jacket. And because of that, throw this motherfucker in jail for the rest of his life. Because these ain't even the type of gun owners that should be in the street. Guns have been a problem forever. All right, guns will always be a problem. Okay. In a perfect world, gun owners are only responsible. In a perfect world, 9 out of 10 people that's walking around with a gun, you don't even know that they have it. In a perfect world, people don't feel empowered because they got a gun. Does this man confront the man in the red without a gun, just walking out like this with two fists? Does he confront them without a gun or a weapon? I don't know. But if you can't even responsibly have a gun, if you are empowered by a gun, if you are turned out by a gun, if you would shoot a man, brandish on a man, assault a man, pistol whip a man, or take a man's life over what we see in this video, you can't be out here. Can't be out here. That could be one of my relatives in this red jacket. You can't be out here. Put that man in jail. Throw away the key. You want me to have sympathy for his freedom? Is that what y'all want? You want me to have, after watching this video, you want me to have sympathy for his freedom? I could be much worse. This is like me being reserved about it. Like, it's insane. It's insane, B. Let me get off of it before I get frustrated. Make my skin crawl, B. Make my fucking skin crawl. What happened with Ha Ha Davis? This is gonna be a short one.
Social media comedian Ha Ha Davis is behind bars for no laughing matter here. He is accused of domestic violence. The Detroit native, whose real name is Carlos Davis, was arrested by Utica police on Friday. Investigators haven't released any additional information on the victims. We don't know much about the circumstances. Davis is being held in the Macomb County Jail on a $5,000 cash surety bond. All right, time for us to talk a little.
All right, so I know bond wise, Ha Ha Davis got $5 grand. Okay, him and his people got access to $5,000, so he's probably out right now. Okay, I think people hear domestic violence or domestic dispute, especially in today's world, and we jump straight to, oh, he probably beat on his girl, beat on his wife. First of all, I didn't hear none of those details. Yeah, we see that he does a lot of skits with his that's the mother of his child too, right? With his girlfriend. I love what they got going on. I love the comedy and the content that Ha Ha Davis does. I follow him. You know, I react. I like some of his shit on the gram. He entertains the fuck out of me. He's good at what he does. I don't know the man personally, so I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know what he did or did not do. But people shouldn't just jump to that. Shouldn't just jump to that and put that on a man. Here's something about domestic disputes, people. Domestic disputes, by definition, isn't just boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, man, woman, right? You know, a domestic dispute that a cop could respond to, it could be two men in the crib. What if they're roommates? It could be two women in the crib. What if they're roommates? I think they might even write it up as responding to a domestic dispute even after the fact. Because for it to be a domestic dispute at a crib, I think what they try to establish is that it's just two people that are taking residence there. That's what I believe. I had a situation with an old friend, and we had a birthday party one night in the city, Midtown Manhattan. Everybody drunk. Got back to the crib. There was some stuff happening with some ladies that was pulling up. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Matter of fact, the sun had came up. Some late, I'll get a little bit more detailed, just a little bit. We came back to my crib and we had some girls with us after this birthday party that we did. We rented out the 4040, a room in the 4040. We threw a nice little get together. It was dope. Drunk, get home, had some girls that we brought back to my crib with us. After we get back to the crib, there was 2 exes that pulled up as well. My ex and his ex, right? That was also at the birthday party. I don't remember whether we invited them. I don't know if somebody said so. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe it was his fault. Maybe it was everybody's fault. I don't remember. But obviously that's a little bit of a conflict, right? you got 2 sets of women, right? He was drunk. He was drunk as shit, and he thought that I invited them, and I don't remember inviting them. So he blamed me for it because he was like gonna get in trouble or some shit. And when he came and he approached me about it, our noses touched, right? And me and my boys, we get into shit all the time, but we don't touch each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't put my hands on none of my niggas. You know what I mean? So our noses touched. And at that point, I was just like, oh, like this is I feel this is physical. And I reacted. I didn't steal him. I don't want anybody to run with that. I didn't steal him, but I reacted. So it ended up getting physical. Right. It went how it went. And then it spilled out and like outside of my front door a little bit, with a lot of screaming and the commotion, and even some of the physical confrontation went through the fucking door, the screen door and shit. So I had neighbors. This was the same community that I told y'all a story about, that the fucking security guard was putting stickers on cars that were your guests, even if they were parked in front of your own garage. It's the same place. And my neighbors was fucking, they were just too uppity, right? So the neighbors call the cops. Cops pull up. I'm literally out there like boxers, I think I remember, shorts or some shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. Me and dude is still screaming at each other. We into it. You know what I'm saying? Cops pull up. At that point, they're trying to see is there crime? Is there danger? What's going on? And he ended up leaving. So the cops wasn't trying. They didn't arrest nobody. They was able to just bounce. But I say that to say, I do remember that there was like a there's like paperwork that the police filed on it, right? Because I think I had to, I think I picked it up. I forget, but I think it was categorized as a domestic dispute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if the police just didn't establish who actually lived there, um, or what. I don't know if domestic dispute can be categorized as just a broad spectrum of shit that just happens at a residence. But once again, I guess I just throw out that little story to say, you know, you hear domestic dispute and don't just jump out the window and say, oh shit, Haha Davis beat up his girlfriend. We didn't even hear those details, you know? So when I saw this, it triggered that thought in my mind because we just do that so easily on people. We just put these tags on people that they may not deserve. Now, if it comes out later, like, oh shit, like she took these pictures, look at her lumped up face. Hold on one second, y'all. This is my contractor. Hold on. Yeah, my bad, y'all. Like I said, that's my Memorial Day. I'm home here with the contractors getting work done. So, all right. Yeah, totally interrupted my little take about this Haha Davis stuff, but I'll leave it there. Um, I'm gonna run upstairs to let them in anyway, so I could probably just finish with this real quick. I just want y'all to see this. You know, homie is at this point. I think people painted a lot of pictures of this guy already, but top five. And every time we heard, you know, top five impressive, I thought they was homies. I thought they was best friends. But if they into it, they probably got a lot of dirt on each other, huh? And look at this shit that niggas posted about top five. Him, what, crumping in a bra? What is this? Damn. Okay. Press a post, top five a rat. These guys get robbed in my city for all their jewelry, and they pay blogs to delete it. Double L, laughing emoji. Ye did it first, so I had to get my bro D Money Levels a Maybach for his B-Day. Okay. I don't know why you bring this kid around us. Top five a rat. Never, and then top five post this. Never got robbed in my life, but tell the world how your bitch robbed you for an AP and a BFR chain. Tell me I'm lying. Okay. What's this? Top five posts. You never hooped or hopped. My bad. You never hopped in the V for any of your dead homies. All you want to do is sing Canada Goose. Matter of fact, you never even went to Houdini funeral. So I guess who's going to be exposing each other about a bunch of personal stuff that the world doesn't know? Two friends, huh? Which I think is always corny. You know, I have old friends that I don't talk to or associate with anymore. And one thing you're not going to see me do is get on a podcast or in these videos and remember when we was teenagers, you did this. Remember when we was 25, you did this. I just think that that's corny. I think that that's corny as shit. But what I think is even more important than this video of him wearing a bra for whatever reason, the most important one is being called a rat. All right, is being top five cannot be a rat. Not the way he acts, not the way he runs around, not all this I'm Drake shooting, all that. We just think that he does goofy stuff in terms of how gangsters are supposed to move. right? But you better not be a rat. You better not be. You better not be. And somebody that was close to him for all this time is calling him a rat. Now, I do think that it's also corny to be around somebody. If you have a fallout with him, then it should have been over him being a rat. Let's be real, people. You know, I'm not a fan of Top 5 at all. You guys can see that from how we've covered him so far. But Mr. Fair, I always am. If you have a fallout with that man, then it should be over him being a rat. You don't hang out with this man, be around this man, befriend this man, love this man, be this man's brother, get into it with him. Like, I'll just make something up. Get into it with him over like a woman, right? Y'all fucking the same chick. Y'all get into it. Y'all fall out. Now you start posting you're a rat. So what was you doing then when you knew that he was a rat? You were still there hanging out with him, running and gunning with him. So Top 5 can't be a rat. And Presser can't say that he started exposing him for something other than being a rat. Be real, people. Be real. All right, I'm going to leave that one short. All right, I'm going to run upstairs, let my contractors in, let them get to work. I'm going to hit the gym, get my day moving, be productive. But I hope that y'all have a safe, productive Memorial Day. I don't know if y'all on vacation. I don't know if y'all moving around. I don't know if y'all at work. Keep it safe as possible. You know what I'm saying? Drink and drive responsibly. Get yourself an Uber, meaning that, right? Or whatever. Shit, niggas drink on random days. I don't just gotta be Memorial Day, but I know more than a lot of people how much you can turn up on a Memorial Day. Did y'all hear that shit I was talking earlier when I first got the stream on? I know Memorial Day could be a turn up day. So, and everybody be careful, be safe. And I will catch y'all in the morning bright and early. I got y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house up. And shout out to the members.